most people have in their whole lives. So for me, it's that is not important to me, and it's important that I keep reminding myself of that because I don't have anything to prove, I don't have anything to lose, and everything here is just to gain. Yeah, in December I definitely was not, and then was just talking to a few people and just chatting about different possibilities of just having fun and something a little bit different, and so just kept talking and talking, and then I was like, well, why not, for lack of a better explanation.
She said she was done. She meant it. She walked away from the sport that made her a legend, put down the racket, and didn't look back. No farewell tour. No dramatic press conference. Just silence. And for 2 years, the tennis world quietly accepted that Serena Williams was gone for good. But here's the thing about the Williams family. They don't do quiet for long. Because while Serena was living her life away from the court, her older sister was still out there competing, still grinding, still showing the world that age is nothing but a number when your name is Williams. And what Venus did at last year's U.S. Open didn't just catch the attention of tennis fans, it caught the eye of the one person whose opinion matters most in that family. It caught Serena's eye. And once Serena started watching, something began to shift. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, almost reluctantly, the greatest tennis player the sport has ever seen started asking herself a question she had no intention of asking. What if she came back? Let's talk about exactly how this all happened, because the full story is far more layered than the headline suggests. When Venus Williams walked onto the court at last year's U.S. Open for doubles alongside Leylah Fernandez, most people saw it as a feel-good moment. A legend getting one more chance to compete at the highest level. A crowd pleaser. A nice story. What they didn't see is that sitting somewhere in the stands or watching from home was Serena, paying very close attention. Because Venus didn't just show up. She performed. She and Fernandez worked their way through the draw, match by match, and reached the quarterfinals before falling to the pair of Katerina Siniakova and Taylor Townsend. That is not a soft run. That is not a participation result. That is two players genuinely competing, genuinely winning, and genuinely threatening to go further. And Serena noticed every single bit of it. She came out and said it directly. She was motivated by what Venus was doing. She thought Venus played really well. Quarterfinals in doubles, she said, was really interesting to her. Now think about what that word means coming from Serena Williams. Interesting. This is a woman who has won 23 Grand Slam singles titles. A woman who dominated the sport for over 2 decades. For her to look at what Venus was doing and call it interesting isn't casual. That word is loaded. That word means something started turning over in her mind. But here's where the story gets even better, because Venus wasn't just playing well on court. She was also working on her sister off it. According to Serena herself, Venus had been telling her for some time that she should come back and play. Not once, not twice. She kept telling her. That phrase matters. This was a sustained campaign. A quiet, persistent nudge from an older sister who believed that Serena still had something left to give the sport, even when Serena herself didn't believe it. And Serena admits she felt the pressure of it. She heard the words. She just didn't act on them. At the time, she wasn't practicing at all. She wasn't training. She wasn't warming up in secret or quietly eyeing a return. Returning to professional tennis was genuinely not the goal. She was clear about that. She told Venus, "Sure, I'll think about it." In that way, people say things to end a conversation rather than start one. She even set her own mental condition on it, telling herself that if she ever did decide to come back, she would need 6 full months to prepare properly. She gave herself an out. She gave herself a condition that felt distant enough to be hypothetical. She said sure without meaning yes. But time passed. Venus kept doing what Venus does. And at some point, the hypothetical stopped feeling hypothetical. Serena has been refreshingly honest about all of this. She said she had no intention of being where she is today. No plan, no grand strategy. Just a woman who retired in 2022, watched her sister, do something remarkable in 2024, felt something stir inside her, and eventually stopped ignoring it. That is a very human story. That is the kind of story that resonates because it doesn't follow a script. It follows a feeling. And now here they are. Earlier this week came the announcement that confirmed what the tennis world had barely dared to hope for. The Williams sisters have been awarded a wild card into the Wimbledon main draw for doubles. They will compete together at the championships. Two sisters, one court, the most famous grass in the sport. The numbers behind this pairing are staggering. Between them, Venus and Serena have won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles together. 14. They have stood on the Wimbledon doubles podium 6 times as a pair. 6 times at the same tournament they are about to walk back into together. When you put those two names on the same side of the net, history doesn't just follow them. History chases them. And this will be their first time competing together in doubles since the 2022 US Open, which, not coincidentally, was the same tournament where Serena played her final professional match before stepping away. There is a poetic symmetry to all of this that feels almost too perfect to be accidental. Serena may be coming back into this with limited recent match time compared to Venus, who has stayed sharp and competitive. But if there's one thing we know about Serena Williams, it's that she does not show up to tournaments as a spectator. She does not enter draws to make up numbers. When Serena Williams decides to compete, she competes to win. And she will be arriving at Wimbledon this year with a memory of what her sister accomplished in doubles last year sitting very fresh in her mind. Quarterfinals. That's the bar Venus set with Fernandez, a brand new partner, later stages of her career, and still quarterfinals at a Grand Slam. Serena watched that. Serena remembered that. And now Serena is coming to Wimbledon with her greatest doubles partner of all time standing beside her. The question isn't whether they'll bring the crowd to their feet. They will. That part is guaranteed. The question is how deep this run can go. The question is whether two of the most decorated doubles players in the history of the sport can rediscover that chemistry, that communication, that almost telepathic understanding they built over decades of competing together. And beyond the results, beyond the trophies and the rankings and the draws and the brackets, there is something even bigger happening here. This is a story about sisterhood, about one woman watching another woman she loves push through age and doubt and time, and deciding that if Venus can do it, maybe she can too. Maybe the chapter she thought was closed is actually just paused. Maybe the racket she put down was set down, not thrown away. Serena Williams didn't plan this comeback. Venus Williams nudged it into existence, point by point, match by match, until her little sister couldn't